Hey, this is Zolita
and Dorian Electra,
and you hit us up on our love line and we're going to answer all of your dating, astrology, and relationship questions.
Burning questions you want to know, we've got all the answers.
Am I in your lifeline? Am I just another to you?
But first, we're going to have a special premiere of Dorian's birth chart.
Everybody's been asking me for fucking ever when I was gonna drop the birth chart, and I thought, what better time than with the Loveline Remix. My birthday, June 25th, 1992, born at 4:01 p.m. I asked my dad, so do with what you want with that information.
We're gonna just answer these questions. Favorite song the other has written, Man to Man is my favorite song always. Oh my god, I can't. That's the best song.
Loveline. Loveline is absolutely my favorite. Like when I heard that, I immediately texted you. Just like, this is like an absolute perfect pop song. And then I don't know how long after you texted me, like, would you want to remix something on the thing? I was like, please, like, is Loveline taken like after that one?
I needed to have a song about the fun, nice stage in the relationship in the beginning, and it was really hard to tap into that in writing about that relationship. So I wrote about this other girl. Yeah, in the crush stage, and I get a little bit crazy and just like project so much and like romanticize to the extreme.
Were you talking about like being together for like the rest of your life?
Yeah,
like, energy.
I'm picturing our wedding, and like I'm obsessed with your verse. It's so good. It's so good.
When we first like were hanging out or whatever, it was like I was like, I don't know anything about this astrology stuff. I'm like kind of skeptical about it. All my fans like also like love astrology, a lot of them. So I'm like, am I gonna be offensive if I'm acting like fedora tipping atheist about like I like logic and science? I'm like that is the vibe that I give off somehow. My mind has been a lot more open.
Yeah, you ended up telling me your sign eventually. No, you wouldn't tell me your sign.
Oh, my sign. Wait, can we recall this? Because now I can't. Now I'm like blurring. Mine is blanking. Wait, can you?
You literally wouldn't tell me your sign.
Did I make you guess?
Yeah,
wait, I made you guess. Like all 12.
Guess.
Probably like
you wouldn't even confirm, even if I guessed right. You weren't even like.
Oh my god, that is such a fedora tipping.
But then you told me.
Okay, no, that is so funny. I actually probably blocked that out of my memory because I was like, that was maybe rude. I was like, yes, like if it's so accurate, like why don't you guess? And I feel like Cancer was maybe like the 8th thing that you guessed.
No, really?
Maybe.
No.
I feel like it was, and I was like,
You're like, so it's not accurate. You have to marry somebody without ever meeting them first based on their big 3.
See, I was like, what the hell is big 3? If it's like a musical artist, is it like their like top 3 songs on Spotify? Like I literally had no clue, so I'm gonna let you answer this one.
Gemini Sun, Moon in Cancer.
Like the song lyrics.
Like the song lyrics.
Go stream it.
Say Sagittarius rising.
It sounds good. Sounds good to me. I've learned a lot about astrology from Zolita. I've come to appreciate like how it can be a tool for self-discovery and stuff through a lot of our conversations. And Gemina.Proctor says, what is your love language? And I actually love this quiz. For anyone that doesn't know, it's about the ways that you express love to people that you care about and how you receive love and the different ways that you can express that. For me, my 2 big ones are words of affirmation, like people saying like, I love you, or like, great job, or thank you so much for doing this, like hearing those verbal cues. I'm a very verbal person. And then the other big one for me is acts of service. So when somebody does something for me, helps me like run an errand, like helps me with a project.
Mine are physical touch and words of affirmation. Need the words all the time, validation. Have you done the attachment styles? The attachment styles is anxious, avoidant, and secure. And I'm definitely an anxious attachment style, so like words of affirmation is so important because otherwise I'm just like, oh my god, they literally hate me now. Or,
yeah. I get like that too, for sure, yeah.
And definitely just like a touchy person, even with my friends, like super touchy. Can you be too vulnerable on a first date? Are there conversation topics you should avoid and vice versa? What do you think?
I think personally on a first date, I like to let somebody know in a joking way, like, here are all my flaws, and like just kind of be like my biggest version of myself, because if it scares somebody away, then that's good, because it's like, I just want to be the most authentic self so that there are no surprises. You make your flaws a part of like something that you're aware of and you try to like build it in, then I feel like it's less of like, this is a secret I'm hiding. And is there a difference in your mind between being like really open and like sharing and then being vulnerable?
I sometimes feel like I'm too much of an open book on the first dates, and then it's like not as much mystery. When the people that I tend to be really attracted to, I'm like, oh my god, I can't figure them out. Like what's going on? What are they thinking? What are they doing? I was talking to my mom about that and about this girl that I like have a crush on, and because she's just super fucking aloof.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, well, maybe you should be a little more mysterious. My mom was like, you could use a little bit of mystery, Zoe. And I was like, fuck.
I know what you mean. I've thought about like, especially even in my art, I'm like, or my social media presence, like, should I be more like mysterious? Is that more attractive in general, you know?
Yeah.
Some people do it really well naturally, but if someone's faking it, then it's like, you can see through it, you know?
Ultimately, just be authentic. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one.
Yeah, that's
so
hard.
what should you wear on a date, all out, or keep it cute and low key?
Is this first date we're thinking, or is this like?
Let's say first date.
I like to match what I call in my brain, like casualness levels. Like I can still have casual, but it's like, you know, crazy shirt or whatever. Platforms am I doing? Sneakers am I doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like I would never like purposefully hold back.
Like mute yourself for that. Yeah. I feel like I find that I dress more masculine on first dates because I feel like that's what people are gonna want for some reason.
Well,
like,
that's interesting.
Like I could be before the first date and like the longest dress, and then I will like before the date I'll change it to something like more masculine.
Is that because you feel like you have to live up to an expectation about yourself or something?
I feel like because I primarily date like feminine, like if I'm too feminine, they're probably not gonna like me, or they're not gonna like be attracted to me or something. But I'm like, well, they obviously have seen my social.
Yeah.
I'm really fucking feminine.
I'm wondering, like, what do you pull up and like? We're talking overalls?
It's not even that. It's like a cute pant and like wife beater moment.
Okay.
I like that in between of like femininity, masculinity.
It'll literally come down to things where I'm like, okay, I'm wearing the frilly thing here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have the long hair, but then I'm like, I gotta have the cargo shorts and like the like shoes, like, you know, like I literally have to balance it like one for one items, like masculine and feminine.
Do you have a type?
I think my type, like the type of person that I'm really attracted to is somebody that is really funny, like first and foremost. Because I remember the most attractive like online dating profile I ever saw was somebody that had no pictures of themselves, but it was like some stupid meme and like some other like weird, I don't know, this was like years ago, and I was like, who is this person? I can be attracted to all different kinds of people, like, and you know, just like across the spectrum, absolutely. But sometimes I do find that I'm like, it's funny that I'll be attracted to really feminine people that are like just like the extreme femininity and extreme masculinity, but it's like funny that I'm like drawn to like those two extremes.
Yeah. That is so funny.
Yeah, but I mean, I like all different kind of people. Like also nerds, I will say that is nerdy people is like a big and that's all the people that I've dated, and you know, it's like that is the number one like thing that I think would take it from like to a lasting connection.
For sure, somebody really smart knows a lot about what they are interested in, like super passionate. Should you sleep with somebody on the first date?
I mean, of course, it goes without saying that you should wait until marriage to have sex. We both are on board with that. However, you know, I think sometimes people do feel pressure to do it, you know, like especially if it's something like a Tinder situation or that type of thing, you know, people are like what are the expectations and stuff. I kind of miss the days of like hand holding would be like really exciting.
Yeah, the build up.
The build up, and I feel like as adults, it's like this thing of like kind of this expectation of just like rushing into it, just like getting it over with and whatever. There is something to be said for stretching something out.
I feel like I suss out the situation. Generally, like intentions are talked about. So sometimes you will find out that somebody's like, oh, I like want a casual situation. Then I will sometimes sleep with people on a first date just because I'm like, oh, okay, that's
what you're looking for in this situation.
Yeah. But if it's a situation where I'm like, oh, I really like this person and I could see it being a longer term connection, then I generally don't. I like love the build up of it. Do you have a funny date story?
Do you have one in mind?
I have one.
Okay, let's hear yours. Maybe this will spark something in my mind.
I gave my number to a waitress at a place that I frequented, which was probably not a good idea.
Bold move.
Yeah. She texted me and we planned a coffee date and we went and met up, and within the first 5 minutes I found out that she was in the Hillsong choir.
Wait, what is that?
Hillsong is like the super church, the mega church.
Oh my god, that's epic! Wait, that is
a Hillsong choir. And she goes, me and Jesus are like this. And then she drove me home and she was blasting worship music in the car. She's like, I think you'll love this one.
That's amazing! I love it! Now, did you guys see each other again?
No.
Didn't think so, but what, you never?
Oh, that was the funniest part was she goes, how about you? Do you have like a relationship with God? And I was like, I'm a witch. You could just like see the like gears spinning in her head.
And then she's like, let me drive you home now.
If you could describe being in love in one word, what would it be?
One word? I don't know if I could do it in one word. Do you have one in mind?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Obsession.
Okay, I was gonna say obsession.
Yeah.
It's always obsession at
Yeah.
first, but then like in like the like long-term relationships, it's like stability. Your like best friend is just there for you kind of thing. Like my long-term relationships have been with people that I was just like friends with first, and
Yeah.
then that element like later got introduced. Tell me more about your experience.
Of being in love. I would say like I've only really truly been in love once. The difference for me was like I could see this person being in my life forever, even if it wasn't in a romantic way. You know, it's like
Yes.
I need you in my like I'm in love with you and I love you. You're my soulmate. I need you in my life no matter what.
I think that is like actually a really good way to
Yeah.
like distinguish it.
How do you know when you're in love?
For me, it's usually when someone becomes very integrated in my life too, and I just really care about them and like their happiness and stuff. Like that is probably, I don't know, that sounds like a generic thing. I don't know if I know what I'm saying, honestly.
For me, I know I love somebody when it's like I could literally be in the shittiest situation, and if I'm with them, it's still gonna be pleasant.
That's a really nice. I like you have these like you pulled up a couple of really good like if this then this.
My Virgo is popping out. I was telling Dorian earlier that my rising is in Virgo, and all of my qualities that I don't like about myself are my Virgo.
That's also those are good. Those just sound like some useful qualities.
Yeah.
too, you know?
Ideal first date. Favorite dating activities.
Like before COVID, I always liked going to like a weird themed place, like a weird themed bar. I just love a themed bar. Like maybe one day I'm like, I want to open up a themed bar or at least like some themed
what
bar
would the
night.
theme be?
Yeah, what about for you?
Drinking wine and watching Jennifer's Body.
Oh my god, it's such an amazing movie.
It's so fucking
It's really sad that it really didn't get like the recognition that it deserved, and then it got like totally written off because the marketing.
It was marketed to like young teenage boys.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's now though. It's like a cult classic.
Absolutely, yeah. Wine, that's good. Do you remember when I brought over? Didn't I bring over like a box?
You brought over
box?
friends, yeah.
And then little did I know, like I know nothing about wine, I know nothing about astrology, but we're trying to change both of those things.
Yeah. I think that we're getting somewhere.
Biggest red flag.
My biggest one is if someone talks 99% of the time and does not listen. I veer towards the listening side just naturally. Sometimes I like treat dates as like it becomes a full-on interview because that's just my nervous habit is like asking questions because I mean people love talking about themselves.
Yeah.
So like that's how I make people feel comfortable, but then it sometimes becomes like, oh, you've literally been talking for 99% of the time. You don't know anything about me.
Yeah, wow. If somebody's talking shit about a bunch of people, that is the biggest red flag because I'm like, if I'm on your good side now, but the minute I might cross over accidentally, you're gonna be talking shit about me to somebody else, you know?
What gives you the ick, if anything?
Things that just really gross you out.
The ick is like something random that just like turns you off like really big time. Like something are like, oh, like when boys wear like the white socks, like
those like
around the
little
house.
like the ankle socks.
Yeah. Like,
That's funny. Actually, I'm not crazy about those. It doesn't give me like whatever, but I don't know. I like a tall sock. Okay, a sock with some purpose. It's like when you're just seeing, I kind of get it. When it is just like that little bit, and it's like, okay, are you trying to be hidden or are you trying to be showing?
Yeah.
What is yours if you have?
When people make a move on me while I'm talking.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
It feels very like, now I'm done like listening and now I just want to fuck you.
I can see why some people would find that to be like a turn on, but no, because you know we're all words of affirmation.
Yes.
And it's like it would seem very like out of
It's
tune.
like, oh, you don't, okay.
Value what I'm saying and like, yeah, no, that's interesting. Deal breakers.
They don't have like good old friends in their life. I have a really, really tight relationship with my family, but I understand that that's lucky. A lot of people like simply can't because their family's views differ. I really appreciate when people have like, if it's not like their actual family, they have their own family that they've created too. Just like have important relationships that they've like carried on.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like, there's obviously a certain point at which like somebody's ideological differences would make us like incompatible. It's not like you need to find someone that agrees with you want to find someone that's gonna challenge you and because whether that either strengthens your own ideas by like, you know, going back and forth, or you learn something new or whatever that you hadn't thought of before. Like,
best piece of dating advice you've ever been given? I feel like going into first dates, usually I feel like you tend to get so anxious about like, oh, are they gonna like me? But it should be about like, oh, am I gonna like them?
Because you think also maybe like switching the frame of mind would help you be like more
relaxed,
more confident. You don't feel like you're like under scrutiny or something. I think also maybe something that can help take the pressure off is like going into it like, hey, this could just be a cool new person that could be like a friend in my life, you know, like not having to be like,
no pressure.
Are we gonna be? Yeah. It's like, how do I feel about this person? Like when you overanalyze that too, I think it can be like really stressful.
There's literally nothing to lose on a first date, which is so awesome.
That is very cool.
There's only something to gain, or nothing, or just at the same.
Yeah, someone's asking like how to know if you're bi or gay. I think like I've heard the term gay be used, and like I personally, for me and like my, you know, some friends and stuff use it like very
as an umbrella term.
Yeah,
just because
it's like a fun one. It's like the biggest one. It's like it's just fun to like use that in a way and not have to be caught up in like, well, do you mean exactly this or do you mean exactly that? Like to have some like fluidity in it. I personally just say queer because I think it's just, I'm just open to like all kinds of things, all kinds of people and whatever. But then some people also, it's like they get a lot out of having an identity that is really meaningful to them, or feeling like they're part of a community that is very specific. I'm interested in your thoughts on this for sure.
I feel like don't feel pressured to know. Sexuality shifts throughout your life. You don't have to feel like you have to choose one. It can shift.
I'm non-binary / gender fluid. Should I only date people who are bisexual / pansexual? I would say that you should only date people who you have a connection with, who respect you and your identity, and who are open to, you know, new ways of seeing things and trying, you know, to look at the world in different lenses. Also, part of what's so cool about being gender fluid is like you can kind of fit in anywhere with anybody that you connect with, and like I think that's what's really cool about it. Is love really all you need? I do think people place, I don't know if this is at all what the question asker meant, but like I feel like people place sometimes
like too much weight on romantic
yes
love.
And I think some people are like, my life is shit, it's gonna be perfect when I meet someone. That's what is not healthy. Having the self-love, loving yourself, friends.
Friendships can be romantic without being intimate even.
Oh, that's interesting. Can you elaborate on that?
I feel like some of my favorite friendships are like, it's like the same amount of effort and care. For a birthday, for example, it's like I'm gonna put like the same amount of effort than a romantic partner, because I'm like, this is like someone that's gonna be my life for the rest of my life. And also like doing cute things for your friend. Things that you would normally associate with somebody that you're dating. How do you deal with codependency in relationships? Everyone in my life right now is in a relationship. Almost everybody, like most people. And I think that's why I feel so like anti them, because I see how codependent all of my friends are on their partners, and that terrifies me. I'm like, I do not want that.
I think the other thing too is taking time physically away.
Yes.
And obviously during COVID, that's been really hard for so many people. But like having time by yourself literally can change your own self-perception. You're like, wait a second, like I can do this thing on my own, I can do this thing on my own, you know? And how do you get over, like someone says, how do I get over my ex? That one is very...
Write an album about it.
I mean, I think channeling like the negative feelings into something that you feel like is yours, and that, because sometimes feelings feel like they're like happening to you, and if you can be like, wait a second, this thing is mine, you know, I got a lot of shit going on, and even if it feels negative and like it's suffocating you, if you can like try to find a way to like, you know, turn it into something.
Yeah, channeling it into something tangible. Nicest thing someone's done for you while dating?
Nothing. No one's ever done anything nice for me for a change.
Not a fucking thing.
I'm waiting.
My love language is acts of service, and no one's done shit. Oh god.
I mean,
the bar is low for me. Everyone go stream Loveline Remix.
Yes, and Stan Petal Supply. It was like
Petal Supply,
the perfect person to bring on this, and it was her idea for me to leak my birth chart, or like drop my birth chart with this remix. So
yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
For coming on.
Yes, thank you. Peace and love is all you need.
Love is all you need. Stream Loveline.